He was only 24, young, disciplined, and already a man shaped by dreams. His name was Avain Karina, a new mathematics teacher whose life was ruled by order, silence, and purpose. Graduated with the highest honor, Avain believed discipline was the bridge between goals and reality. He lived alone, far from noise, far from distraction. In class, he never smiled much. His words were precise, like formulas on a board. Everyone meant something. Yet before each lesson, he spoke about life, about growth, about self-worth. He taught not only numbers, but meaning. And among the students listening, there was one who listened with her heart. Welcome to Story of Lovers G19. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's begin. Her name was Elira. She was 18, bright eyes, quiet soul, and the kind of heart that felt everything deeply. She didn't fall in love suddenly. It happened like rain, drop by drop, softly, unnoticed at first. Every time he wrote on the board, she saw not just numbers, but calmness, confidence, and something she wished to understand: his silence. Ave never noticed. To him, she was another student, one of many faces behind a sea of notebooks. But for Elira, every word he spoke stayed inside her like a promise. She wondered if he ever felt lonely, and she wished, ever for 1 second, he would look at her and just smile. Elira knew he respected only one thing: effort. So she made a decision. She would become one of the best students. Maybe she could win his respect. She studied harder than ever before. While others slept, she solved equations under candlelight. Her hands trembled, her eyes burned, but she kept going. And months later, when the results come out, she ranked second in the class. That day, Avain called her name during class. He looked at her for the first time. Truly looked. He said, "You've done well." Just that. 3 words. But to Elira, it felt like the world had finally opened its doors. After that day, she began visiting him often, always with questions, always about math. But the truth lived behind her curiosity. She wanted to hear his voice, to see him close, to feel the warmth of being noticed. And he never suspected. He simply admired her dedication. He saw in her the reflection of the student he once was, driven, restless, pure. Her friends teased her when they found out, "You love him, the serious one." They laughed, but Elira didn't care. Love doesn't wait for permission. Every night, she wrote him letters, dozens of them. She never sent any, just kept them under her pillow, like whispers no one could hear. She wrote about his patience, his eyes, the way he fixed his tie before class. She wrote about how her heart raced when he said her name. She wrote that she didn't want to destroy his career or his peace. She only wanted him to know that somewhere, someone loved him without asking for anything in return. Her family was poor. Life was already heavy. Yet in her heart, she carried something even heavier, a love she could never confess. And still, it gave her hope. Every morning she woke with a smile. Every night she fell asleep, dreaming of his quiet voice. One day, Avain didn't come to class. Rumors speared that he was sick or working on something outside school. Elira felt uneasy, like the day had lost its color. After class, she walked toward the small cafe near campus, the one she sometimes saw him visit. And there he was, sitting alone, reading a book, coffee untouched. From across the street, she smiled. Finally, she would say hello, but she didn't notice the car, the sound of brakes, a scream, then silence. The world frozen. Elira lay on the ground, her notebook scattered, letters flying into the wind. She didn't die, but something inside her died. When she woke days later, her world was empty. She couldn't remember the accident, or her letters, even his name. Her memory was shattered. The doctors said her mind had pulled away from the pain. She forget her friends, her school, everything that once gave her joy. Avain returned to class the next week, unaware of what had happened. When he noticed Elira's seat empty, he asked casually where she was. No one answered, until one of her friends come to his office, tears in her eyes, carrying a box. Inside the box were the letters, dozens of them, all written to him. She said, "She loved you, sir, and now she can't even remember your name." For the first time, the man who never smiled cried random. It happened because she had seen him, because she was looking at him when she fell, and in that moment, everything. He stood for his discipline, his calm, his order collapsed. He read every letters, one by one, until his hands shook. He found words that could have changed everything. He whispered her name to the empty air, over and over, as if it might bring her memory back. But she never returned to class. Time passed. Owain continued teaching, but his lessons changed. He still spoke about life before math, but now his voice carried something deeper. He told his students to be kind to their hearts, to never hide their feelings, to speak before silence becomes regret. He never told anyone why. He never mentioned her name again. But every year, he placed one white flower on the desk where Alira once sat. They said he became quieter after that. Some said he lost focus. Others said he found faith. But no one ever saw him smile again. Love doesn't always end in forever. Sometimes, it ends in a single moment, in a memory that never returns, in a teacher who spends the rest of his life teaching others to feel what he could never say, because some hearts never stop remembering. Thanks for watching. To watch more, subscribe.